major issue with a lot of these situations that we share with you guys on the pod is these people don't have money. They don't have access to money. And so the scam, they have to go find somebody else to get on the hook to get anywhere. And then eventually there's a cutoff point where it just doesn't make any more sense to keep putting the money because they have no plan to actually complete your project. So that's something that, you know, how are you to know? As the homeowner, how are you to know? Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Chicks in Construction. I'm your host, Mickey Paradise. This is my illustrious co-host.
Hi, I'm Jessica Abreu.
And listen, this podcast is a podcast that exists to help homeowners not get screwed over by contractors. All kinds of contractors, general contractors, licensed contractors, unlicensed contractors, plumbers, a chuck in a truck, a roofer, a random guy who says that he can turn your powder or your closet into a powder room. All of these things qualify you to end up on the show. We've been evolving our podcast skills. And one thing I realized is we do need to start the show off by explaining what the hell
we do.
We be doing here. So there we go. I did it. Check that right off the box. We were just talking about this before we did not press the record. We have a studio goddess today, and she pressed the record button. Yes. But we were talking about this because last week when we recorded, studio god Joe was telling us how he got a call from somebody claiming to be a sheriff, that he had failed to show up at jury duty. And he was like, he kind of fell for it at first and then was like, wait a second. So he, like, as this dude is like trying to tell him that he's about to be arrested for not showing up.
There's a warrant out for him.
There's a warrant out for your arrest for not showing up for jury duty, which, listen, I probably should have done some research before we started talking about this so I could give you really accurate information. But I do not believe
they do not call
that you get a heads up that you're about to be arrested.
No, they just show up at your door.
I've never been arrested. Knocking on the wood. Okay. But I don't, like, from every Law and Order episode that I've watched, that they do not call you to let you know you're about to be arrested. I also don't think that you can get hardcore arrested like that for a jury duty. Oopsie whoopsie.
You do get in trouble.
You can get in trouble, but I believe they kind of serve you a summons. Like a sheriff will come to your door and be like, hey, you missed jury duty. Here's a summons. And if you're not watching and you're listening, I'm doing a weird thing with my hand right now. Nobody knows what it is.
She's serving up something.
I'm serving up a lot of ridiculousness. Yes. So that's happening.
There we go.
So yeah, like that is not a thing. So Joe shared that story, and then we did our little chit chat about scams because people be scamming. And I feel like the worst part about this scam economy is the worse the economy gets, the more the scams kind of step their game up, which is really horrible on a lot of levels. But it's like people are really struggling to pay their bills, so we're stepping the scams up. Like, come on, the humanity of it all. So Jess sent me a message of, I guess, something she found on one of the interwebs, one of the Facebook groups that she's always involved in because she's much better at social media than I am.
That's what they pay me for.
That's literally her job. And it was this girl who, because like, so Joe was telling us a story and he figured out, like, he literally just ran it through ChatGPT and was like, oh, this is a scam. And he was like, okay, thank you, bye, and just hung up. So we didn't know, kind of like, he was like, they didn't ask for money up front. Like,
right.
He was just like, they said I was gonna be arrested, that I needed to turn myself in. So Jess sends me this message and I could not believe, it makes me so genuinely sad. So
they had her home address that was in Michigan. So she recently moved to the Raleigh area. Yeah. She is from Michigan, and the person on the phone knew all of her addresses and her information.
They even went so far to have known her parents' address. Like, they knew her first, middle, and last name. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, I've never been on the dark web. I think I would like to go on the dark web. I don't even know how to find the dark web. I thought my incognito tab on Chrome was the dark web because it was, in fact, a dark color. I was like, I'm on the dark web right now.
You are so pretty.
I am. I'm pretty, but smart. Questions.
In certain areas, yes.
Yeah.
When
it comes to drywall, watch out. When it comes to knowing how the internet works, so unfortunately, like the amount of information that exists on the dark web is wild. I have so many security things because my entire life is on the dark web. And I have like a whole dark web monitoring, and it's constantly letting me know that everything that is known about me to like,
all my stuff is out there,
100% on the dark web. So
it's out there, and I know it's there because I get phone calls.
Yeah,
from so my phone number is still a Rhode Island phone number. So I still get phone calls from people from like 401 numbers. Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't. They're like, oh yeah, you have such and such, and I was like, nope,
don't live there. Yeah.
Don't live there.
Nice try.
Or they call me by my maiden name. I love that because I've disowned my family. So
you're like, nice try.
I'm like, I know you know nothing.
And that's the thing is like a lot of people get thrown off by how much information that they have on you, which can be sourced very easily on the dark web. And so this woman was really. She really fell for it because they had so much information on her. And then and the other thing too was, and listen, I want to talk about one of the worst times of my life. And this sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth. Scammers can dupe a number or clone a number. They can clone a number. And so I was working on a job and I started getting all these phone calls. And I would answer the phone and they'd be like, stop calling me. And I was like, what are you talking about? So apparently a scammer had cloned my number.
Oh my God.
And was calling people and my name and number was showing up on their caller ID.
That's great.
So I literally had to change my voicemail
to say,
hey, listen, if you're calling to yell at me because my phone number has called you 9 million times, or tried to scam you or whatever it is, I'm really sorry. My phone number has been hacked. It was not me. I have already reported it. Like there's a police report on file about it. I'm really sorry. Please don't leave me a message screaming into my voicemail. It was not me that called you.
I didn't do it. Don't get mad at me.
I'll never forget it. He was like, I'm coming to your house and I have your address because I looked you up. And I was like, okay, we need to have better security.
We need to get Optimus Prime to actually be a guard dog.
And he's like, no, I'm going to take a nap though. So that in this case, this lady they had all of this lady's information. And she says they were not asking for money at first. I told them that I don't reside in Michigan, that I'm not sure what to do. They said that they would transfer me to Wake County Sheriff's Office. So this is the thing. They duped or cloned or whatever the term is, the Wake County, their sheriff's office phone number and called her from what looked like it popped up on her caller ID as the sheriff's, and she checked it and it was the same number. So I totally get why that this would get you. Because like you think about it, like you check all the things and it all kind of lines up, and then your freaking stress, your cortisol spikes.
The best thing to do at that point is be like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. Let me call you right back. You hang up and call the number, because then the sheriff's office is going to be like,
right.
I'm sorry, ma'am. No, we did not do that.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. One, they rely on stressing you out, spiking the adrenaline in your body. So you're kind of thinking like caveman brain. You're like lizard brain mode. You're not thinking about like, oh wait, this doesn't sound right. So they told her if she hung the phone up that what was the threat with the hanging up? So the phone number they called me from,
they were going to have the cops. If I hung up on them, there are cops on standby waiting to arrest me a few miles away from the house.
Which now, because we're not in, highly spiked stress hormone, we're like, that's nonsense. Like, listen, I understand the cops sometimes be getting cats out of trees, but I don't think they're just waiting around.
They're not waiting around the corner
on standby. But again, that's
Unless
the
they're SWAT.
purpose. Yeah, I don't know. So that's the purpose. Like they're trying to freak you out. And they know if you hang the phone up and you call that sheriff's number back, they know that the sheriff's going to be like, listen, it's not real.
Right.
So they're making it like stressing you out to the point of like pure panic.
And that's when they asked for money.
Yes.
So that's when they read her rights, which is wild.
Yo, can you even imagine?
That's something else that they don't do over the phone. But anyway, they read her rights and said that she had the option to be arrested for the weekend or that she could buy out her warrant for $4,000. So that's where they're finally getting the money.
We all know where I would have gone with that. I'd be like, come and get me because 3 hots and a cots. I've been talking about it. I'm like, so I get to just take the weekend off? Okay.
And no one can get in touch with me? This sounds like vacation.
Like that is one hell of a retreat.
Yep. And then they've had her on the phone for an hour. And when she started to get emotional, they told her to knock it off, that she wasn't being compliant.
Y'all, I can't. This whole story is like, what is happening in the world? So she's apparently like 25. She worked in the service industry.
And she didn't have that money.
Just moved to North Carolina. She said the only money that she had was to pay her rent and her electric and her gas. And they were like, well, you need to give us that money or be arrested. So even with all of the money she had, she did not have the $4,000. And they encouraged her to reach out to friends and family to borrow the rest of the money, which she did. And then apparently once she didn't say how she sent the money or like what form of payment they accepted, because I feel like a lot of times that, listen, anybody in law enforcement saying we'll take payment over the phone, run, don't walk. That is not a thing.
I'm guessing she probably Zelled them.
It had to be like Cash App or something like that. So after she paid them the money, then they started like being really abusive to her, verbally abusive, and like even like sexually. Like I don't know how that works over the phone.
Calling me derogatory names and being verbally, sexually violent. I was like, ugh. At that point, So
I think at that point is when she knew that it had gone sideways. So we're telling you this not because it has anything to do with construction, but because I think like our algorithms are like, because we talk about scams on the podcast, like it falls under the scam. So we want you guys to know, like,
be safe.
Risk getting arrested over paying a scammer $4,000 of money that you don't have. Like, I think the move is, okay, well, you know where I live. I'll be there. Come arrest me. I don't mind spending the weekend in jail. That's the move.
Sounds like vacation.
And if it's real, then you spend the weekend in jail, lessons were learned. If not,
you could probably
keep your money.
pay them when they come to get, like,
it
just doesn't make any sense.
Sheriffs don't accept payment unless they shady and they're taking bribes. Like that's just not. Again, I do, knocking on all the wood, have a limited amount of experience with like dealing with sheriffs, but the times that I have, there was never like an exchange of money. It was like, hey, this is what's going on. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Like one time, this is funny. My sister is 7 years younger than me. Which led to some spicy situations for me because I was the older one. So years, probably a millennia ago, I took her to a Christina Aguilera concert at the PNC or whatever the hell it's called now, center. And there was this woman in front of us with this lion's mane of hair. And she was wasted. I mean, this woman was 3 sheets to the wind drunk, and she's whipping her hair around, and it got in my sister's mouth.
Gross.
I don't even blame my sister for popping off. Like she tapped on the lady's shoulder, and she was like, "Ma'am, you need to control your hair. It just got in my mouth, and if it happens again, I'm gonna rip it out." So what does the lady do?
She does it again.
No. She turns around and punches me in the face.
Why?
I'm just sitting there because she was so drunk.
She probably thought she was getting
your sister.
your sister.
It was me.
Oh.
So she just pops me right in the face. I immediately go and get the security. She gets removed and she is livid. So she's there with her boyfriend and her daughter. And she is hot. How dare I didn't do anything. Homegirl, I'm like bloody nose, like the whole thing. And the cops were like, you need to go file a report. So yeah, in the moment I was hella pissed, but it was like, whatever. Everybody gets punched in the mouth from time to time. It happens.
I have never been punched in the mouth. Thank you.
It's funny. The only time I actually get hit in the mouth, it wasn't even this mouth that was running. I was like, what are the odds of that? Because listen, I'd be running my mouth on the reg. But so I just let it go. It was like, whatever. So about 2 weeks later, a sheriff shows up at my door. And they're like, this is, we're serving you with, somebody claimed that you hit them. I was like, what? It's like, listen. So she went, somebody told her to go before I went and claim that I hit her instead of me hitting her, or instead of her hitting me.
Yes, because usually the person that gets hit gets taken out by security.
Right.
That makes sense. That tracks. Okay.
So, but it wasn't like I got arrested. So like this does wrap to the point of like, this was a potential assault charge that they were like, here, show up in court this day. But like a sheriff did serve the document. So it was funny. I had to go hire a defense attorney, which cost a freaking boatload of money. And I had done, this was back in the day where the intranets were a little limited. Like we didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have Claude working on our side.
We barely had Google.
But I went on a deep dive. And it turns out that this woman, when she went to file the charges against me, she did not give her real name, which is a felony. It is a felony.
Why did she put her real name on there?
I'm assuming because she had felonies.
Oh.
Yeah, like she had a record.
That's
so
great.
she goes in.
Quality human being.
She goes to the magistrate's office, claims that I hit her, gives a fake name. So we go to court, and my attorney goes to the DA and is like, listen, we believe that this woman who was in court that day gave a false name. And if that's the case, we want charges pressed against her. And like, so the DA is like, you could not, like somebody could not roll their eyes any harder. Like he was just like, oh.
So wait, had you filed the police report against her?
No, I never did.
You never did.
I just like, cause I was like, whatever. I caught one in the mouth. It happens from time to time. Like I honestly didn't have time for it. So I was like, whatever. I wasn't mad about it.
I'm not going to miss this.
I was pissed about getting accused of hitting her when like I was just minding my own business when I got punched in the mouth. But so the DA goes up to her and is like, ma'am, what is your name? And she gives the false name. And he goes, let me it is a literal felony to lie to an officer of the court. I'm gonna ask you one more time. What is your real name? And she tells the real name. And he was just like, do you realize you could go to prison for lying like this? And that now that you have lied about your name, no one is taking the assault charges seriously. So he was like, you can either drop the charges or you're going to jail. And she was so mad. Like, the fit that she threw in court. And I was like, but I'm the criminal.
But what was she expecting to get out of it? So she says that you hit her. Was she claiming damages?
No, she was just criminal charges. Like she was trying to get me charged with the crime of assault. Crazy. And I was like, never went to a Christina Aguilera concert again in all the days of my life. So with that said, guys, the point is, obviously we do like a little chitty chat before we get into our homeowner horror stories, but I was accused of assault and still did not get a call saying that I was going to be arrested.
Right.
So
they just show up.
If you guys ever get a call and somebody's claiming that they have an arrest warrant for you or that you missed jury duty or whatever it is, just hang the phone up and call your local the non-emergency police department and kind of tell them about it, let them know, let them look into it. I think that's the safe move because this lady lost $4,000 and $1,000 of it was borrowed money. So I don't want to see you guys put in that situation. And apparently the scams are picking up. They're at 100. So we don't want you to see that to happen to you. So listen, when I found this story today, I was like, is this my neighbor? Because it's about a pool.
So close. It's just the wrong state, but
it is the wrong state. But it's about a bad pool situation. And the more I was reading it, I was like, could this be my neighbor? It's not, but delightful nonetheless. So yeah, we're going to get into it. Also, before we do that, we would love it if you guys have a story, if you could share it. It helps us educate everybody about all these different little scams. And somebody was saying like, oh, all the scams or all these like stories really are starting to sound the same. And while that is very true, because one, nobody is calling this stuff out. Nobody is saying, hey, this is not real. This is a fallacy. Nobody's calling that out. So it's a scam that people have been using and getting away with for a millennia. So yes, they all sound the same because they don't need to evolve their scam because nobody is calling it out and saying, hey, that's not real. That's not how that works. So a lot of times they do sound the same, but every episode has like something new, has like every story has like this unique twist. And the more you guys can share your stories, the more we can share that with other people, because as we have discussed, learning the hard way is overrated. And we don't want that for you. So if you would not mind, if you have a juicy story that you want aired, you want somebody's dirty laundry aired out on this podcast, we're going to change names, but we're going to air out that laundry. Okay, we're here for your venting session. chicksinconstruction.com. You just scroll down. There's a forum. You can go in there, fill it out. And it just helps us educate people so less people have the same experience. That's at least what our goal is. So in this case, so imagine spending over $100,000 to build the backyard you've always dreamed about. A luxury pool, an outdoor kitchen, fire features, which, yes, I'm here for it. A place where your family can gather for years. Now imagine walking outside one morning and realizing your backyard isn't a paradise. It's a construction graveyard. A giant hole in the ground, exposed pipes, broken concrete, and a contractor who's stopped answering the phone. Because for multiple Arizona homeowners, that's exactly what happened.
That's crazy.
I know. I can't. I was reading this and I was like, did they move from Arizona to Raleigh, North Carolina? Is this my neighbor? So today's story is one a lot of homeowners are going to relate to, because outdoor living projects are exploding right now. And unfortunately, so are the construction disasters. So the dream sale. Homeowners across Arizona hired what appeared to be a legitimate luxury pool contractor. The sales process looked polished, beautiful renderings, luxury branding, social media filled with dream backyards. The contractors promised fast timelines, premium craftsmanship, and resort-style outdoor spaces. The homeowners started signing contracts. Many projects ranged from $80,000 to $200,000.
Listen, if my backyard costs $200,000, that's not just a backyard. That's a big financial investment. And like when we lived up north, we put in a huge in-ground saltwater pool, gun night, huge patio. It took up our entire backyard.
Yes.
And it was like a custom size because we're like, fit as much pool as you can in this area.
Yeah, we want all the pool. Sans the grass, all the pool.
No, I don't want to mow. So,
yeah, I hate mowing.
I mean, they did make it a little bit too deep. They didn't tell us that they had to, like, it had to be a slow
you have
grade.
To gradual slope.
When we said it, we wanted like it to come and then just like slope, just like, like the traditional in-ground pools. It's like 3 feet for a little bit and then it slopes down. Yeah. But because we weren't going super deep, that kind of gradual, it needed to be more gradual.
You didn't have the space for like a...
Right.
Okay, got it.
So it went, and my husband is tall and he didn't want to be like it coming to his waist. So
he don't want to be like lounging through the water, like waiting, if you will.
But because they didn't tell us that, it started at, we wanted it to start at 4 and end at 6.
Okay.
it started at like 4.5 and then ended at like 7.
Oh, okay.
Which with little
They
kids.
were like, go ahead, Brad, jump right into that.
Yeah, with little kids. Even my son at the time, he was 10 and he was like, okay.
He's like, I can't touch the ground. Wow. Okay.
Yep. But like to redo it, it was like
$9 billion.
They're like, well, we have to put the cement in to fill it up, grade it again, and then spray the gunite. We're like, no, just leave it as it is. We made the best of it.
Yeah.
It had 5 huge steps going into it. So the kids just stayed on the steps.
Fair enough.
But anyway, I'm sorry.
No,
but even that didn't cost.
Didn't even cost $200,000.
No, not even
Which
80.
is impressive. Really? Wow, that was the time to be alive.
It was
that
like
was pre-COVID.
15 years ago.
that was when things were more affordable.
Yes. Now they're not. Now, if I wanted the same pool, it would cost me $200,000. Crazy.
So the money started flowing. Homeowners began paying deposits, large deposits. Excavation started, concrete forms appeared, plumbing was installed. At first, everything looked normal.
So nobody thought that they were being scammed.
No, and it wasn't a guy disappearing immediately, so it looked really real at first. So then this part of the script is called The Collapse. So then things started slowing down. Crews stopped showing up consistently. Materials were delayed. Communication got worse. And eventually projects stopped entirely. Some homeowners were left with giant excavation pits, which I can't even imagine. Like just a giant hole in your backyard. Unfinished gunite shells.
Which I don't understand.
Not at all. Exposed plumbing, broken decking, and dangerous backyard conditions, which all of that sounds like 100%. My dogs are jumping headfirst into that pool and we're into the hole that the pool was supposed to go in. They're going to roll around the mud and they're going to come right back to the door and be like, what?
Oh, they'll be able to get out.
That's the other getting out.
Getting out is questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really, really, really horrible, especially in Arizona where people use their outdoor space year round. It's not like
it's not just like seasonal here, which is,
I mean,
I cannot tell you guys the extent to which I am stalking my neighbor's pool crisis because it is a lot. So the other day I was talking to Hector and he goes, we've gone through 2 summers and they still don't have a pool.
Oh my
God.
God.
The fact that Hector is paying attention to the neighbor's pool situation.
That's terrible.
It's out of control because Hector's like, he minds his own business. I'm nosy, but he was like, that's been 2 summers and still no pool. So
it's bad.
It's bad when Hector's like clocking it. So one homeowner reportedly spent nearly a year looking at a fenced off construction pit behind their home.
Oh my gosh. So these people are all in a financial nightmare. And the scary part is that people are still paying these people while this is happening. So like one set of people are in this crapshoot with half-done project and more people are signed up to have these people do their pool.
Exactly. Some homeowners had financing payments, HOA issues, unsafe conditions, and property value concerns. And now they had to hire a new contractor to finish their repair work. So why this happens? This is where homeowners need to understand something really important. A lot of pool companies operate on cash flow, meaning today's deposit funds yesterday's project. In my neck of the woods, we call that robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I'm like, I'm not saying to say that it doesn't happen in like all areas of construction. Like even from our general contractors, they'll, say, okay, well, your payment's a little bit delayed because we're waiting on such and such. And then you'll get it on time. And you go, I thought it was delayed. Oh yeah, we got paid on another job. So they'll use funds from wherever to pay whoever. And I get that. But for smaller companies, it's a little concerning because it means you don't have access to capital. You don't have a credit line. You don't have access to cash flow, like, or lending to help you get from one job to the other without having to take money here to pay it over there. So it's something to pay attention to.
The last person that pays, what ends up happening there?
Yeah. I mean, and 100%. Because like if there's nobody coming after them, then there's nobody to pay for the work that you have going on at your house. And so that, honestly, that is a major issue with a lot of these situations that we share with you guys on the pod is these people don't have money. They don't have access to money. And so the scam, they have to go find somebody else to get on the hook to get anywhere. And then eventually there's a cutoff point where it just doesn't make any more sense to keep putting the money because they have no plan to actually complete your project. So that's something that, you know, how are you to know as the homeowner? How are you to know? So, and it's one of those things you find out later and it's like, oh, well, this would have been helpful to know beforehand. So, today's deposit funds yesterday's project, and when the sales slow down, the money gets mismanaged and everything collapses. So let's talk about some of these red flags. Massive upfront deposits. Luxury pool projects require deposits, which isn't uncommon.
No.
But massive deposits, like we've talked about this, and this is the hill that I will absolutely die on. I don't care what it is. A 20% deposit should be sufficient. Now, there are certain things where I will budge a little bit if you're ordering something custom, or like we did a project where we had to order the cabinets. Like we ordered the cabinets right after we went under contract because it was going to take like 16 weeks for these cabinets to be built. It was freaking wild. So yeah, like it was custom cabinetry. So they were like, yeah, we're not even going to start producing these orders until you've paid in full for the cabinets. But what we did was we had the customer go ahead and just contact them. We were like, here, this is your order number. Like, go ahead and pay it. So it wasn't like, no matter what happened with us, those cabinets belonged to that customer. Yep. They were theirs. They paid for them. They did the order. So it was one of those things where I don't consider that to be the count towards the deposit.
True.
If supplies need to be ordered, some things are special order. If you're going on that special order side, yes, there's the rules change a little bit. But a pool is a lot of raw materials. There's not a whole lot of custom ordering. So unless you're going crazy, a 20% deposit suffices. And I'm sure, like, listen, if you go on our TikTok or our Instagram and you go click on any of our reels, there is a guy who does not watch the podcast. He just gets served up these reels, which I really feel like social media is just rage baiting these dudes.
A little bit.
Like they show them our content just to piss these dudes off.
And I may or may not be selecting the reels to put on there that do.
Yeah, I mean,
make them just a little spicy.
It's not like, listen, do I like to piss people off? I'm not gonna lie to your beautiful faces. Of course I do. I'm a contractor and I'm an asshole. So I'm all the things. Do I enjoy pissing people off? Yeah. But like, we're just telling the truth. We're just saying, hey, homeowner, these are the things that are happening that aren't your responsibility, or these are the things that should be happening. The amount of people that get upset over us telling homeowners that they need to have permits and inspections, the amount of people who lose their mind for that,
wild.
It's concern. It's just like, this is the law. You're mad at me for informing our audience of the law. Just because you don't want to follow it or you don't agree with the law, like, by all means, disagree with the law. But we are informing our audience of what the law is. And the other one is informing our audience. And listen, fight me. I've been waiting for somebody to go to chicksandconstruction.com and share their story about how an inspection failed was a homeowner's responsibility. I've been waiting on this story.
Been waiting for it.
And yet I keep checking the email and I'm not getting any stories about how you're explaining in detail how a failed inspection was somehow the homeowner's fault and therefore the homeowner should pay for it. So that is one of the reoccurring themes that's happening in a lot of the stories we're getting is somebody fails an inspection and all of a sudden that the cost to fix the failed inspection gets put on the homeowner. And what we say is absolutely not.
No,
it is absolutely not your job as the homeowner to pay for incorrectly done work. It's just not. And
we're just not going to do it.
We're just not doing it. And there's a lot of tactics that they use to get you to feel like, well, if I don't pay it, then my house is going to stay in this place of disarray. And here's the thing, y'all. It's going to cost you now or cost you later. If a contractor has such little integrity that they have done the work improperly and have failed an inspection and are then turning around to you, the homeowner, and saying, hey, I didn't do my job right, so now it's going to cost you more money to get it done right. No. If they don't have the integrity from the get-go and they're going to try to make you pay for their lack of knowledge, for their lack of understanding of code, for their lack of relationships that they have with inspectors, whatever it is, if they're trying to make you pay for it, they already don't have integrity. So you're like going to end up firing them regardless.
Yeah. I feel like that needs to be added to our list of questions to ask a contractor when you're going to hire them.
Yeah.
If you fail an inspection, who's financially responsible for that?
I wouldn't even necessarily say ask that question. I mean, I think it's a great question to ask, but I think more important than asking the question is putting that in the contract. Failed work that occurs from failed inspections is never the homeowner's responsibility. That way, it's like, don't even come to me and try. What I will say is on some of these social media posts that these dudes get so upset about, a lot of really responsible contractors have commented and been like, I have literally never charged a homeowner for work from a failed inspection. And that's because if you're actually a legitimate contractor, it is embarrassing to have failed an inspection. It's upsetting to have failed an inspection. And all you want to do is make it right. Like a good contractor is not thinking, oh, this is an opportunity for me to get another $5,000 out of my homeowner. They're horrified that they failed the inspection and just want to get it passed right away. Like, the responsible ones care about the fact that it failed, not about the opportunity to make more money from you. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Another red flag is thinking that the social media posts are showing like these luxury photos and have really great branding, but just because they have beautiful photos and branding doesn't mean that they are financially stable.
And we see this a lot. Like,
anybody can put pretty pictures.
I mean, honestly, and so we've had so many stories where they were going, like that one from the couple from Texas that were like the knockoff version of Chip and JoJo. Yeah. They were actually going into model homes and filming content in those homes as if they were the houses that they built. And so like that's unfortunately,
there's no
we
rules.
Just can't trust what we see on social media. Like there's so many ways to manipulate situations, and people are freaking crafty. They're shady, and they're like, oh, there's this open house and there's not a realtor in there. Let me go in there and film this content and make it seem like this is work that I've done. And next thing you know, with the right amount of editing, it looks like this is something that they built, or it looks like this is one of their properties. And so I think it's
nice to see the pictures and stuff. Like people who are contractors do need to put their work on there, and like you do need to see what they are doing. But if every single picture is picturesque and there's not really a before and after, there's not them like in showing a project actually being fully completed. Those are things that you want to look for. Like everything can't be just the beautiful picture of the end. You have to see progression.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because that's the thing is, like, I think it's a good thing for construction companies to have social media, because the young bloods out there. Job. Yeah, please reach out to Jess. She does a great job. Younger people source almost everything. Like, so my niece, who's 22, she sources everything on TikTok. Like, she has found the most amazing gluten-free restaurants, or restaurants that have a great gluten-free menu, because of TikTok. So like that is a huge place where younger people source for information. So I think it's important to have social media, and I can't stress this enough, that can't be the only factor. Like, oh, they've got really great social media. Okay, well, what's their what's their rating with the Secretary of State? Do they have a company that's registered with your Secretary of State? Do they have any judgments against them? Do they have a license? Are they licensed to do this work? Now, sadly, I think a lot of people think, oh, well, a pool contractor doesn't need a license because it's not work that's happening inside of my house. And that can lead to massive issues later on down the line, and obviously in this situation as well. So another red flag is slowdowns early in the project. So momentum matters in construction, which is very true. When projects suddenly lose momentum, we have to start paying attention. So there's things that happen where it's like, okay, well, we ordered something and it came in wrong, and they're gonna have to make it, and it's gonna take a couple of weeks. When there's a decent explanation, that's not ideal, but it happens because this is construction and this is the real world, and not everything happens the way it's supposed to. But one thing that we see in these stories over and over and over again is they demo the work. So it's not like
that's the easy part.
Well, one, I think it's the easy part, but two, it's the psychology of it. So it's like, if they just took your money and never showed up, and your house wasn't impacted, you weren't, washing dishes in your, sink, or you couldn't use your backyard at all. If everything in your life was fine, you were just missing that money, you would fire them so quickly. So what I'm noticing is they immediately show up to demo your house, because when they come back to you and say, hey, we need another $7,000, or we need another whatever,
you're already looking at
you're
disaster.
like, well, my house is torn up, so what am I going to do? I have to pay the money. It's kind of that, like, it's the construction version of gun to your head. They're like, you don't have access to your backyard. You don't have access to your kitchen. You don't have access to the only bathroom in your home. And I'm now saying, in order for us to move forward, you have to give me money. That feels very much like they're putting you in a position where it's like, hey, do it, or I'm walking off the job. And all of these people who write in because they had these terrible experiences felt like I didn't have a choice because my house was torn up, or in this case, because my backyard, there was a wild hole in my backyard.
And like that hole, like
a 7-foot deep hole. That's wild.
Massive. And it's very dangerous, especially if you have kids or pets, because there's no bloop. Well, right down into it.
It's funny that there's all these regulations about pools after they're constructed. Like, you have to have a fence that goes around it, and you have to all this stuff. But while the pool's been built, it's like, listen, if you fall in, we're just going to pour the concrete.
We had to have the fence up before.
Oh, did you?
Our yard was fenced in before they started digging.
So that has not happened in my neighbor's case. I don't know. Again, 2 years in, they still don't have their pool. They are getting closer. They have removed the mountain of dirt.
Oh, good. From the road?
From the front street, that we were just driving by a mountain of dirt. Now their grass is as dead as a doornail because it's had it for 2 years, and in giant pile of dirt. I want to go to their house so bad and be like, here's my card.
Can you
please
just tell us your story, please? And another red flag is the constant excuses for materials being delayed or the crew not showing up when they're vague and stuff. Like,
it's one of those things where it's like, all right, one is because listen, things happen in construction. So something that seems reasonable is if a material gets delayed, right? They've got other projects. So they're going to take their guys, since they don't have the materials they need at your project, they're going to take their guys, they're going to put them on another job. So that's reasonable. But there's a time period where it's like, okay, if there's not the excuse of a material being delayed, then I only think you have a couple of days. Like, so if all you need is labor, and it's not an issue of we're lacking a material, or if it's just labor and in 3 days they can't get these people on your job, that's honestly okay, I'm looking for a different contractor. If you wanted to be super generous, you could give them a week, but I feel like that's just setting the expectation of like, and then my 6-month project took 1.5 years.
Yep.
If they get a week to start every single time. So like, I'm under contract, like our contracts say that we have a 7-day mobilization period one time. Once we are mobilized, I have 48 hours to put people on the job. And if I don't put people on the job, they can literally pull my contract after 48 hours. So when I have the first time that I have 7 days is when they let me know, okay, we're ready for you to mobilize for the drywall. And past that point, I have 48 hours.
Wow.
So when I say giving somebody 3 days, like obviously I'm in a kind of more fast-paced commercial-ish setting. So I'm saying 3 days minimum, 5 days maximum is super generous. Like if you're a professional contractor, it should not be that difficult for you to find people to show up to do the work. If you can't find people to show up to do the work, you know what it might mean? That those people don't pay their bills. So one of the things in our industry is subcontractors talk. Like they just do. Like they gossip. They all know each other. Somebody's, married to so-and-so's cousin. Like everybody knows each other. Like my cleaning lady is the cousin of my painter. They're very closely connected. So when you don't pay your bills, they all know. So one of the things that since I went into business, I believe very strongly that I never mess with people's money. My guys get paid every week. We don't mess around with it. No questions asked. They get paid. That creates this loyalty where whenever we have a project that starts, our guys will walk off a job. I mean, they won't walk off a job, but they will complete a job and work with us over anybody else. They will say, sorry, we can't finish, we'll finish what we started, but we're not going to take out any new work because a client that actually pays their bills has a job starting, which is the most brilliant way to not have issues with labor. When the labor markets get all crazy and people can't find work, that's not a problem we have because one, we pay more than industry standard and we pay every single week and we never mess with people's money. So if somebody can't find somebody to show up and do work, especially in this economy, it's because they ain't paying their bills. So that's a huge, huge red flag.
Yep. And with pools, like we all know how it's going to go. You plot the hole, you dig the hole, you remove the dirt, you put the pipes in, the rebar. Like it's a process that does not vary. So if they're
and I guess you could start digging and like find stone and find rock and that might, but it's different from renovating a house. It's not like you don't know what you're gonna find when you open up the wall. It's a hole in the backyard. So again, I'm not a pool contractor, so I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this is so simple. Things can happen, things can cause slowdowns, but I would imagine it is less than in the renovation world where it's like you could open up a wall and be like, what in the world?
Yeah, like our pool did not take that long.
Yeah.
And like there was somebody there almost every day we used a reputable pool company. That was what they did.
Yeah.
And so there was somebody there just about every day. The only thing that they didn't tell us was about the
transition,
slope, which at the end of the day it wasn't
that big of a deal. I mean, it wasn't ideal, but
it wasn't ideal, but it wasn't.
So here's how homeowners can protect themselves. So tie payments to milestones, meaning I am not paying you, like you pay your 20% deposit and then they need to work off that 20% until they've completed the 20% plus another whatever they're billing for. So you pay them 20%. Okay, that's enough to dig the hole. The next time you're going to pay them is when they have the plumbing in. So every payment that you make is tied to a milestone. It's tied to something being completed, not started. So when I bill for what I have completed on that day. Now, I still don't get paid for 30 days, but I am not allowed to bill past what I have completed on the day that I submit that bill. My contract, I'm not now, mind you, I pay my guys every week, but I have to carry that bag for 30 days. Sometimes it can be 60 days. It's not ideal, but that's just how construction works. So people expecting to get paid in advance in construction is pretty wild, as it's not something that I get that I work in commercial and so that's different, but I don't see why. Why should a home renovator or a pool contractor or whatever it is in a residential setting get paid in advance where people in commercial, where they're dealing with very professional companies, don't. Now, it might just be me being jealous. I'm not going to lie to you. So verify supplier payments, meaning verify that all of the materials that have been purchased for your project have been paid. That is kind of hard to do if you're not involved and you don't know exactly who all the suppliers are. But that's part of, if you're going to spend $200,000 on a pool,
you should know things.
You want to know who the suppliers are. I have to provide that information to my people. So if I've got something going on, I have to turn around and say, okay, these are my suppliers. This is how much the total job I'm purchasing materials. Here's how much I owe them. Here's how much they've been paid. And I have to notarize that document. So if I'm lying, they have proof. So it's harder, I think, in a home setting, but it's still possible. And that is where having that contract and having that information in your contract really helps. So the other note is asking for financial references. I'm not sure how likely, again, in commercial, it happens every day. In residential, I'm not sure how likely it is for you to actually get solid financial references. One thing that I do when I'm working with a new general contractor that I've never worked with them before, is I have my material supplier do a credit check on these guys. But that's something that I can do as a contractor. It's not something that you guys can do as homeowners. So as far as it asking for financial references, I think that's kind of tricky.
Yeah. I mean, I would more ask to see their whose pool are they for this? Whose pool are they working on now? Can I go see that? Can I go talk to that homeowner? Because they're going to be the ones that are going to fill you in on what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't picture any of the pool. I don't know.
Here's my banking information. Absolutely not.
No, I'm sorry. You can find another pool company to build your pool. Bye.
Yeah, 100%. So it's funny because we talked about this many podcasts ago about I want to see homeowners wanting to see active projects. Yes. And I don't want you to meet me there. I want you to give me the address, maybe give me the homeowner's contact information. I want to go see this project. And somebody on the comments was like, this is such terrible advice. People need to have the proper safety equipment. And I'm like, bro, I think you're missing the point. If somebody's doing shady things, they don't, there's nobody on that site has proper safety equipment. He went this whole post to that comment or to that post about how it's such bad advice.
But if people are living in the house, then you can go and see, the homeowner can let you in.
Right. And I will die on this hill as well. There are many a hill I'm willing to die on. Let me just tell you.
Be careful. You're going to have a whole mountain.
These are facts. If I'm a homeowner and I'm having a great experience with my renovation and the builder comes to me and says, hey, I have a potential client that we're trying to sign. They want to come, without me being there so they can get an unfiltered reaction of the experience that you're having. Are you okay with that? I would be thrilled to share with to help ease the concerns that a potential client has. Yeah. Now, maybe I'm weird. I mean, we all know this, but I can't, would you be of course.
I mean, because most people do. You do it when you're referring people to things.
Right.
I enjoyed this food. You got to eat here. Yes, come see.
So I get the contractor's concern about safety issues and things like that. But obviously I'm not saying as a general contractor, give out your client's information without their permission. But I think that if a homeowner is having a great experience with you, they would be thrilled to be able to tell other people that they're having a great experience.
But I might not want random people in my...
Yeah, that's what the guy was saying.
Well, so with the caveat is you don't know who that person is. So what if there's... I watch a little bit too much Law and Order. What if they're a serial killer?
Yeah, I mean, they could be serial killers. So
I might want the general contractor
to be there.
just as a
Don't murder me in my home
Don't
situation.
murder me in my home. Don't put me in the pool hole in the backyard.
Yeah. The never ending hole in my backyard. I think that is fair. What sucks is it's hard to find a great way for somebody to confirm references.
Yeah.
There all the things that existed before that people relied on, like Angie's List and things like that. We've all learned that that's pay to play. Like Better Business Bureau is not a bureau, it's a company. They just call themselves the Better Business Bureau. You can pay to have negative things removed from your Better Business Bureau. So it's kind of crappy because obviously, as we've discussed, people aren't going to put they're not going to refer you to somebody who had a bad experience. So I think we need to devalue in a sense references. Like if it's not feasible to go to a job site and to see the work that's being done and to see what active things a contractor is doing, if that's not feasible because of safety issues or because homeowners don't want strangers coming to their house, okay. I think we just need to devalue references. People are smart and they've worked around ways to get around references. So I think we need to do our own research. We need to not rely on other people's opinions. Yep. And we need to make sure we're checking their licensing, make sure that we're checking their standing with the state that you're in, make sure you're checking whether they have judgments against them, make sure you're checking that they're insured and that they're specifically insured to do the work that they're going to do on your property. So it kind of takes the role out of the hands of like the stranger, if you will, and puts the more of the responsibility on you. But this is how you avoid, becoming one of the statistics.
Yep. So this story is scary because it started out as something exciting.
Yeah.
They were really excited to have this fabulous backyard. Heck, I want this backyard.
Yeah, for real.
But it did
completed.
Not in the state it is now.
Yeah. And that's the lesson is sometimes the projects homeowners are most excited about are the ones where they let their guard down. And that is, I think it's something that a lot of contractors that aren't operating in good faith take advantage of. So they take advantage of the fact that you're excited. They take advantage of, how focused you are on the outcome. And they're hoping you're not paying attention to the little red flags in the beginning. So guys, don't pay more than a 20% deposit. Unless you're ordering something wildly special ordered, don't pay more than a 20% deposit. And if things aren't working out, if project progress is not happening in a timely manner, sometimes cutting your losses where they are is the move. I shared a couple episodes ago about the first time my fence got wiped out by somebody falling asleep behind the wheel. The initial contractor that I hired did the same thing to me. Like, didn't show up when he said he was going to show up, would show up and work for 2 hours, and then finally got upset because I said hell. I was like, what the hell? And he was very offended by me cursing. And I fired him. And it turned into a whole thing. But that was the move. Like, I fired him. It cost me a couple $100, but I hired the next guy and he did an amazing job. And he actually was the one who did the fence the second time. So...
Yay!
If people could just stop driving through my fence, I could stop spending fence money. But it's one of those things where sometimes just if it's not working out and somebody's not honoring their contract in the beginning, just cut it off. Like, and I just feel like every single one of these stories that people write in, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, if you would just if they had just read the tea leaves from the beginning,
right,
they would save themselves so much money. And so can't stress that enough for you guys. So if you have had this experience, we would love to share it with our audience because we really want to help people understand all of the nuances of how people who aren't operating, people who are acting as bad actors kind of approach situations and how they take advantage of people, how they manipulate you after you've already paid the money and after you're already in the process. We want to share those stories. And in order to share them, we need you to share them with us. So please go to chicksandconstruction.com where you can just scroll down, fill out the form. Jess will never say your real name.
No.
She does tend to say the real name of the shady contractors. We don't really care about them. So if his name is Mike, we're not changing it to Michael. It's just Mike. And Jess, where can they find us on the socials?
So on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, it's at Chicks and Construction Podcast. On TikTok, it's at Chicks and Construction.
And listen, y'all, the ones on TikTok, they be the comment section is spicy. So if you're in the mood to read some spicy comments, check out the TikTok because that's where the action is. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.